Good morning, friends. It's Nancy, and I am here to do another project. This one will be going into this journal right here. This is my embroidered hexie cover that I made some time ago. The signatures are sewn in. It's mostly embellished. I want to make one more pocket, and I know exactly where it's going. So what I want to use is this hunk of old quilt. So ones that are vintage but in such bad shape, they would be known as cutter quilts. So, there's holes and, these were utilitarian, meant to keep you warm. So I do have some pieces of this quilt available in my shop if you're needing a cutter quilt, but I'm sure if you look around, you might have something already. So the first thing I want to do, and in this case I have cut a piece bigger than I want. You can see this has got some stitches in it, sort of holding some of the torn bits together. And I have pressed this with a really hot iron, lots of force. I want to get this as flat as possible. The batting is a cotton, so it will align with your instructions, your forceful instructions. I'm a bit of a neat freak, so I'm going to turn this over. See how thin that is? And I've got this template to mark on the back where I want to put some stitches. This is a friction pen. Let's see if I can find, there it is, a Pilot friction point pen. And the thing about this friction pen is you can draw on fabric with it and then iron it with a hot iron and the ink will disappear. So I could do this on the front, but I'm doing it on the back. So I'm going to use this line to help me land some stitches in some fairly straight lines. And in terms of picking what thread, I want something heavier than an ordinary sewing thread or an ordinary quilting thread. I'm going to use what's called candle wicking thread. It's something I picked up, I don't know, at a thrift store or a yard sale or something. But you could use like pearl cotton or crochet cotton, embroidery floss. Okay, I'm going to put that one aside. Now, this one has also been flattened within an inch of its life. And I have a heart template. And I just used a dryer sheet and drew it on the dryer sheet. And so I'm going to try to decide what orientation I want to take. That kind of looks good. What I'm going to do is just use a little bit of this glue stick. The template I printed from the internet. Earlier this year, I had kind of a lot of fun using dryer sheets. And I had this template of different sized dryer sheets. what I made at that time was these hearts made out of lace by gluing and stitching lace down to the heart template. I mean, I could have just folded it in half and cut a heart shape, but that seemed like a lot of work. Okay. Believe me, you could cut the paper out and trace around the paper. All right. Next, I've got my candle wicking thread. I'm going to cut this in half because they're so long. And just to make it go a little easier, I'm going to wax my thread. This needle is very long, but I think the eye is big enough. And that's what I need. It's a very, very thin. This might be a beading needle. I've actually bent it. I'm going to just tie a little knot. Okay. Starting with the heart. I do not want the heart. I do not want the knot near the edge where I'm going to cut because I don't want it to sort of hang over. So I'm just going to bury it in between the layers, and the knot will be way up there. I'm not going to pull it through. If this was quilting thread and I was actually quilting, I would pull the knot through. So just going to do an in and out stitch. That's what it's going to look like on the other side. And just make sure that the stitches aren't pulling the quilt piece together. You want to keep it flat. It's Canada Day as I record this. Doug has just hopped on his motorcycle and gone for a ride. He's going to go visit his mom. He's been talking about that for a couple of weeks, that he wants to go see his mom. So he asked me if I wanted to come, and I said no. I think my days of riding the motorcycle are done. My hips just won't throw a leg over like it once upon a time did. I'm just now thinking that a contrasting color thread might have been nice as well. But I'm just going to focus on neat, even stitches. I told you this was a used dryer sheet, right? Oops. I'm might add a little patch on the front. I don't know. I'm thinking about other ways I could embellish. Maybe with some buttons or, like I said, a little patch. I'm having a hard time getting around this round part. So I'm only taking one stitch at a time. Once I have my stitches in, I'm going to cut the quilt about, an 1/8 of an inch outside the line of stitching. I've been watching some videos recently, slow stitching videos. I enjoy doing handwork, and I enjoy sitting quietly. It's sort of meditative for me. So I would like to do some more slow stitching, more than I have done in the past. I do have a couple of junk journal covers that I've done that included slow stitches. I actually have a couple colored covers I haven't finished, so maybe I'll dig those out. I also have another hexie cover that has the white on white and cream on cream hexies, not the colorful one like the embroidery on this one that I'm currently working on. Once I have this pocket, one of these pockets in, I'm not going to put both. I'm just demonstrating both. I can do a flip through. And I'm thinking I might list it on Thursday. Now today's Monday as I say that. So that could change between now and then. Lots of things could happen. Okay, I'm going to pause the camera right now, finish the stitching here, and then do the stitching on this one. All right, so I cut around the stitching. I went ahead and used coordinating embroidery thread here, and I used my pinking shears to cut outside, maybe 1/4 of an inch, I guess. Now I've got a couple of scraps of vintage fabrics here, and I thought maybe I'd add a couple of patches like that. I'll just pin those down. It felt like a dull needle, or pin, I mean. There, that one went through a little, with a little more oomph. Okay. Now, when I'm using embroidery floss, this is a great big long, gosh, it's got to be 36 inches. I'm just going to pull off one strand. And taking the two ends, I will thread these two ends through my needle. More spit was required. Okay. Now, it's got a loop at the end. So when I bring it up, and I'm going to go down there, I can secure this thread without putting a knot. See? I think I'm just going to put some random stitches. I'm going to take that out because that's going to make me cross. I'll just glue that down with a little bit of glue stick. So this pocket measures about 3.5 by 6. I'm coming up between the two peaks of the pinking. That keeps it pretty even. I just stabbed myself because my needle's so long. It doesn't need to be this long. But my embroidery needles that have the long eye, they're in a different room. Okay. Let me pause and I'll finish sewing here. Alright, got the stitching done. I'm going to add a couple of buttons. I will glue them on with a little bit of Fabri-Tac. Got into my purple buttons. Weirdly, I had a whole bunch of square. Not the same, but a lot of square buttons. Okay, maybe 3 or 4. Reminds me of a story my grandfather told me. His older sister came running into the house and said, Dad, there's 1,000,000 cats in the backyard. And he said, how many? And she says, well, ours and the neighbors. Gotta pull this out. There, come on, you. A little bit of glue was sticking those ends together. Okay. Ours and the neighbors. 1,000,000. I didn't know his sister. She was gone long before I was here. I'm not worried about the stitches being the security. Because they're glued down. So. I'm just going to split the thread, the 2 plies, tie a knot. All right. I did finish the heart, and I added some little cross stitches there to hold that piece of fabric down in a little vintage button. I like it a lot. I was thinking about doing some blanket stitches because I'm not especially happy with the white thread. I wish I had used a different color, but it turned out really cute. You can see that these pieces were put together by hand, and the little quilting line here, all done by hand. So I'm going to keep this one the way it is. This one, we're going to find a place for it in the journal. I had a page all picked out. I should have marked it. There it is. So this is an old envelope. I believe it was from the 40s, 1948. Okay. I will not do another video until I have filled this glue bottle. I promise you. Oh no. Oh no, oh no. There, maybe it's stretched a little from all the ironing. So I've just got it back in there. Did I make a tag to go in here? I did not. I have to make a tag to go in here. So come back tomorrow and you'll see a final flip through of this journal, at which point it will be available for purchase in my Etsy shop. The heart's gone. I was going to show you how I would have used the heart. Oh, there it is. Okay. So I would probably put it that way and then do a little tucky card there. I mean, it could go this way. It could go this way. But I'll save that for a different project. Love it. Love it. Alrighty. You take care. We will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.